My name is Leopoldina Joana Guterres. People call me Mana Leo. I live in Baguia. Baguia is an extremely rural area. It is not in long distance, but because of the broken road, we have a long trip to go to Baguia. My principal job as a teacher at school, but in my extra time, I work with my community for agroforestry. When I was young, we walk in the shade during the day. It's all forest. But when the civilian war started, all the forest chopped out. But not only for the security. A lot of people come and stay in one area. We have to make garden or farm to grow corn or beans for food. So then all the forest gone.
In the early 1970s, the forest cover in Timor-Leste was over 75%. Today it's under 30%. So if that continues at that rate, then you're going to find that in another 15 or 20 years there's not going to be any primary or secondary forest left.
My husband, John Tadeu Guzmão, worked as a teacher. He loved the environment, trees like forest. So he collected the seeds and he started to germinate and propagate. And when it gets to good seedlings, he give away to his community.
John had been very passionate about planting trees, and he was a great man at bringing people together. We just sort of clicked. Well, one of the things we went and did was have a look around Baguia. Very quickly became apparent this wasn't going to be about maintaining the forests. This was going to be about putting the forest back.
We start work with 12 farmers, and that time I was as a translator.
We came up with this idea of, well, let's pay the farmers an incentive payment for each tree they plant and each tree that stays alive. The idea was that we would pay the farmers $1 a tree per year, but we would charge the farmers 50 cents for each tree, because I'm also of the view that if you give stuff away, there's not necessarily any skin in the game for them to be able to look after it.
After 2-3 years, John passed away.
It was just prior to his death that I'd learnt that he wasn't going to recover.
I feel very weak that time. He was just everything for me and children. And we had 6 children. Very soon that time as well, Mau Andro came over and we went to visit his grave.
And I still remember seeing Leo sort of coming towards me. We embraced and had a bit of a cry, and pretty much the first thing that Leo said before I could say anything was that it's really important that John's work continue. There was no way I could then say no. I did wonder how the hell we were going to do it, but Leo is one of the most extraordinary people that you could meet. And when she puts her mind to something, it gets done. I then approached some other people and said, look, if we get ourselves certified, we could then start making some income out of selling the carbon that gets stored in the new forests in the international carbon market. It took us a couple of years, though, to get there. It wasn't an easy task.
We did all the process like stakeholder consultation, guided by Mau Andro. Then when we heard that our program is approved by gold standard, I don't know how we express, but we feel that what we do in Baguia in extremely rural area is valued by other people, other organizations.
The model that we build means we've got to count every tree each year to know how much to pay the farmers. There's a tree count being undertaken now where the staff go out and count every tree, and at the end of that process we know exactly how many trees have survived and how many trees each farmer has. Currently the payment per tree is 50 cents. So if a farmer has kept their 500 trees alive, they'll get paid $250, which in many cases is doubling their annual income.
So in program, there is farmers cooperative. They can come and borrow money. So this is help a lot of the farmers. Like they start to repair their house, or maybe like young people, they buy motorbike. So all this happen with the payment of the carbon credits.
We're starting to generate a good reserve of funds, and one of the benefits of doing that was highlighted during COVID.
When it was COVID, no transport come to Baguia, no delivering the food. There is not enough food for us.
We were able to allocate around $150,000 to get 15 truckloads of rice up into the community. And the sub-district administrator said to me, "Oh, Andrew, that's fantastic." And I'd said, "Look, it's your money. It's the money coming out of the community from growing trees and from carbon funds." These new ways of generating income out of nature, I think, is a significant way forward for these countries. Now, the government of Timor-Leste has been reliant on oil and gas for a long period of time. The world is moving away from fossil fuels, and so I think there's an opportunity to be able to look at setting up a similar wealth fund as the petroleum fund, but doing it through nature-based solutions.
As a teenager, I knew the weather pattern in Timor-Leste, when is rain time, when is dry season. Now, entirely unpredictable. It affects the agriculture. Right now, as we speak, we have new floods damaging farms around the country, roads, access to some remote areas of the country. What we can do is to plant trees, and with the inspiring, successful example of one seed, result is there, 300,000 trees planted in the last 10 years. Some cash went to the community, improved people's lives.
Now is the trees start to grow up, and we love to be in the forest again.